I met Sarah 3 years ago, and from the moment our paths crossed, I felt like the luckiest man alive. She had this infectious laughter, the kind that could light up a room, and a warmth that made me believe I had found my forever. Our love story wasn't rushed. It grew slowly, like a flame that never flickered out. We built something real, something I thought would stand the test of time. When I proposed to her, I had no doubt in my heart. I got down on one knee, her favorite song playing in the background, the city lights reflecting in her eyes. She gasped, tears forming before she even answered. "Yes," she whispered, over and over again, pulling me into the tightest embrace. At that moment, I believed in everything, soulmates, destiny, a love that lasts. We spent months planning our wedding, picking out every detail together. She was particular about the flowers, insisting on lilies because they reminded her of childhood summers. I let her make most of the decisions, happy to see her excitement. Every time I looked at her, I thought, this is the woman I'm going to spend my life with. But then, things started to change. Subtly at first, missed calls, shorter conversations, distracted smiles. She seemed present, but not entirely. I told myself it was just wedding stress. After all, planning something this big could be overwhelming. But there was something in her eyes, something distant. It was as if she was looking past me, as if her heart was somewhere else. One evening, as we sat together, she scrolled through her phone, barely responding to my words. I reached for her hand, but she pulled away, laughing awkwardly. "Sorry," she muttered, locking her screen. I felt a pang in my chest but brushed it off. Then she started canceling our plans. Dinners we had looked forward to, weekend getaways we had booked. Suddenly, there were excuses. She was tired, had work, needed space. Space? We were about to get married, yet she felt the need to be away from me. I convinced myself it was just cold feet, a temporary phase. Every couple had moments like these, right? But deep down, an unsettling feeling took root. One I couldn't shake, no matter how hard I tried. And then, the real cracks appeared. One night, as I lay beside her, she sighed heavily. "Can we talk?" Her voice was barely above a whisper. I turned to face her, my heart suddenly heavy. "Of course. What's wrong?" She hesitated, looking down at her hands. A silence stretched between us, thick with unspoken words. And then she said something that made my stomach drop. "I'm not sure about marrying you." For a moment, I thought I had misheard her. The woman I loved, the one who had dreamed of this life with me, was saying she wasn't sure? My hands felt cold, my breath caught in my throat. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice betraying the panic I felt. She looked at me, eyes filled with something I couldn't quite read, guilt, maybe? Or regret. I don't know if this is what I really want. It felt like the ground beneath me had disappeared. My mind raced, trying to make sense of her words. Not sure? After everything we had built, after every moment we had shared, how could she say that now? I swallowed hard, forcing myself to stay calm. "Sarah, what are you saying? We've planned our future together. You were happy, weren't you?" She hesitated, and that hesitation told me everything. "I thought I was," she admitted. "But lately, I don't know. Something feels different." I searched her face for an answer, for some kind of explanation that would make this make sense. Different how? She took a deep breath as if she was about to say something painful. "I just don't feel the same way I used to. I still care about you, I do, but something's missing." My heart pounded in my chest. "Missing?" I repeated. The word felt sharp, like a dagger. "Sarah, if something's wrong, we can fix it. Love isn't always easy, but we work through it together." She shook her head, her eyes glassy. "It's not that simple." A terrible thought crept into my mind, one I didn't want to entertain. "Is there someone else?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Her silence answered before she did. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she finally said, eyes full of guilt. "I didn't cross any lines, I swear. But I have feelings for someone else." It was like all the air had been sucked out of the room. My body tensed, my hands clenched. "Who?" She hesitated again, looking down. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. I shot back, my voice colder now. You owe me that much. She bit her lip, avoiding my eyes. It's someone we both know. My stomach twisted. The puzzle pieces snapped together, each memory suddenly making sense. The late-night texts, the sudden emotional distance, the way she laughed just a little too freely when he was around. Jake, I said, the name heavy on my tongue. She flinched but nodded. I never meant for this to happen. I didn't plan it. I let out a bitter laugh, my head spinning. You didn't plan it? Sarah, you were going to marry me. We were building a life together, and now you're telling me you have feelings for someone else? You don't just wake up one day and feel that way. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I don't expect you to understand. I don't even understand it myself. I stood up, pacing. I had never felt this kind of pain before, like betrayal and heartbreak had joined forces, tearing me apart from the inside. So what now? I asked, my voice hollow. Do you love him? She wiped at her tears, but she didn't answer. That silence cut deeper than any words ever could. I turned away because looking at her hurt too much. The woman I loved, the one I had dreamed of forever with, was already slipping away. And the worst part? She had been gone long before she told me. I barely remember leaving that conversation. My body moved, but my mind stayed frozen in that moment, replaying her words over and over. I have feelings for someone else. It didn't matter that she claimed nothing had happened. Emotionally, she had already betrayed me. Nights became unbearable. Sleep didn't come easily, and when it did, it was filled with memories of us. Her laughter, her touch, the way she used to look at me. Now, all I could see was the distance in her eyes, the hesitation in her voice, the slow unraveling of everything I had believed in. I wanted answers, but none of them would change the truth. I kept thinking back to the past few months, piecing together the signs I had ignored. The way she started checking her phone more often, the way she'd pull away slightly when I held her hand, the way she'd smile to herself when she thought I wasn't looking. It all pointed to the same conclusion. I had been losing her long before she admitted it.
Jake.
Someone I had considered a friend. Someone who had been at our engagement party, raising a glass to our happiness. The realization made me sick. I wanted to confront him, to demand an explanation, but deep down, I knew it wouldn't make a difference.
He didn't owe me loyalty, she did.
And she had chosen him in ways that mattered more than words. Anger started replacing the sadness. Not just at her, but at myself. How had I been so blind? How had I convinced myself that love alone was enough to keep someone? I had given her everything, commitment, loyalty, my entire heart, yet it still wasn't enough. I finally forced myself to face her one last time. I need to know the truth, I said. If you've already made up your mind, tell me now. She looked guilty, but not broken the way I was. That hurt the most. I don't want to hurt you, she said. I let out a bitter laugh. You already have. She sighed, rubbing her arms as if trying to comfort herself. I think I need time. Time for what? To figure out if I'm a backup plan? My voice was sharp now. I refused to let her string me along, to keep me waiting while she explored whatever this was with him. She didn't deny it. That was all I needed. Then we're done. She looked shocked, as if she hadn't expected me to say it first. Maybe she thought I'd wait around, hoping she'd choose me. But I had been through enough. I had loved her with everything I had, and it still wasn't enough. I walked away that night, knowing there was nothing left to fight for. The engagement was over. Whatever future I had imagined with her had shattered. And now, I was left to pick up the pieces alone. The days that followed felt empty. I had spent years building a future with Sarah, and in a single moment, it was gone. The wedding plans, the dreams, the promises, they no longer existed. I had to unlearn the habits of loving her, of expecting her texts, of picturing her by my side. At first, the pain was unbearable. Every little thing reminded me of her. The coffee shop where we had our first date, the playlist we made together, even the way I instinctively reached for my phone to tell her something. But she wasn't mine to tell anymore. She had chosen a different path, and I had to learn to live without her. The worst part was the silence. No more good morning texts, no more late night calls just to hear each other's voices. It was as if she had been erased from my life, yet her absence was everywhere. I tried to distract myself, going to the gym, picking up new hobbies, spending time with friends. But no matter how busy I kept myself, the thoughts crept in when I was alone. I wondered if she was happy, if she had finally admitted her feelings to Jake, if she regretted anything at all. Then one evening she reached out. A simple message, "Can we talk?" For a moment, I considered ignoring it. But curiosity got the best of me. I needed to know if she had anything left to say. When we met, she looked different, like she had been carrying the weight of her choices. She apologized, saying she never meant to hurt me, that she hated how things ended. But when I asked if she was with him now, she hesitated. That told me everything. I realized then that I didn't need her apology. What I needed was to let go. No amount of words could undo what had happened. She had made her choice, and now I had to make mine. So I told her I forgave her. Not for her sake, but for mine. Holding on to the anger would only keep me trapped in the past. I needed to move forward, even if I didn't know what that looked like yet. Months passed, and slowly, the pain dulled. I focused on myself, on rebuilding the parts of me that had been broken. And one day, I met someone new. It wasn't instant, and I didn't rush it. But it felt different, healthier, real. Looking back, I understood something important. Love isn't just about passion or history. It's about choice. The right person doesn't make you question your worth. They don't look for something better. They see you as enough. Sarah was my past, but she wasn't my future. And for the first time in a long time, I was okay with that.